Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing great. Got a great story out of the hedge. It's entitled Central Bank Gold Reserves Chart Second Highest Increase Since 1950 in 2022. Now we need to take advice from the big money guys and the governments because what they do or where they're investing is probably where we should be positioning ourselves, and they don't come out and tell you. They don't want to tell you until it's too late because they want to make the most amount of profit. And what really makes me sad, as I'm going to get into this story, is that if you think about it, governments around the world are just printing up money, right? Through their central banks, they're just printing money in excess, but then they're going and buying up gold. It's really sad. And I can't say governments because governments and central banks are two totally different beasts. And I mean beasts. The central bank of the U.S., the Federal Reserve, is not federal and it has no reserves. It is a private institution. It loans money to the government. But while it is loaning money at interest to the government, which comes in the form of debt to you, you need to pay it back through your taxes with interest, they are literally physically buying up all the gold on Earth. Now, this isn't a joke. When I talk about this isn't financial advice, this is life advice. How do you get rich? Well, you follow rich people. You do what rich people do. I mean, it's not the end. I mean, it's not rocket science, right? So what am I doing? I buy gold. I'm not telling you to go buy gold. I'm buying gold because the central banks are buying gold. And the sad thing is they're stealing all that gold because they're just printing up fake money and then they're just pulling up all the gold out of the world. Oh man, it just blows me away. All right, here we go. Central banks closed out 2022 with reported net purchases of 28 tons of gold in December, including large unreported purchases. This brought total central bank gold buying in 2022 to 1,136 tons. It was the second highest level of net purchases on record dating back to 1950. And the 13th straight year of net central bank gold purchases. Now think about that. So many people around the world, when I talk about gold, they go, well, it just dumped like $40. I'm like, man, you are a poor person and you're always gonna be a poor person. Get out of your own way and let somebody smarter come in and do what they need to do, because seriously, think about this. While the central bank, Federal Reserve, raised interest rates on you, or tightening the screws on you and your family, making it harder to borrow money, making it harder to continually pay your payments, especially those that are in adjustable rate mortgages, they're out behind you buying up gold. Now, really, it's not the Federal Reserve buying up all the gold, it's really the other central banks around the world. They're the smarter ones. And I'm gonna be honest with you, pride comes before a fall, and I believe that America is one of the most prideful places right now in the world. Honestly, they think their crap don't stink, that they can pull off anything. And I think there's gonna be a rude awakening in the near term. When I mean near term, I'm talking a year to 2 years. That's near term to me. That's near term to an investor. Speculators think about next week. Sorry, I'm fired up. All right, it says right here, China officially started buying gold again in November and made another large purchase of 30 tons in December. That raised China's total gold reserves to over 2,000 tons for the first time. The Chinese central bank accumulated 1,448 tons of gold between 2002 and 2019, and then suddenly went silent. Many speculate that the Chinese continued to add gold to its holdings off the books during those silent years. Let me stop there too and explain something very clear. China is a net importer of gold, which means all of the gold that's found in China, they keep. Now they just put out a little, they sprinkle a little bit out in those gold pandas. They just mint some and go, here you go, world, enjoy that. But literally, I can't even say that's like 1/10 of 1% of the gold that they mine in the country. Then they go out and they try and buy up everybody else's. Why? Because they're very intelligent. They are very smart and they are here to play the long game. And if you are not ready for the long game, you are going to lose. And I believe America's gonna lose, to be honest with you. Says there's always been speculation that China holds far more gold than it officially reveals. As Jim Rickards pointed out on the Miles Daily back in 2015, many people speculate that China keeps several thousand tons of gold off the books in a separate entity called the State Administration of Foreign Exchange, or SAFE, as the acronym spells it out. Gotta love that. The Central Bank of Turkey continued its consistent buying in December, adding another 25 tons to its swelling gold reserves over the course of 2022. Turkey added about 150 tons of gold to its hoard. And I've told you about one of the gold mining companies I own that I invested in, in Europe. You know, Turkish fund actually tried to buy 51% of that company, and they said, no, we're good, we're crushing it. And And the reason why is because they need to try and get as much gold in the ground as possible as well. It's one thing to go and grab physical gold, but the problem is these central banks and governments know that if they go and grab physical off the shelves, it does affect the price. Why? Because it creates a shortage, and it creates, so investor demand doesn't change, and all of a sudden it runs the premiums up. So they know that they've got to be very careful on how they buy this gold. Now it says here, Croatia bought 2 tons of gold after having not reported any changes in its gold reserves since 2001. So here you see even small countries like Croatia that didn't change since 2001, that now all of a sudden, boom, they went and bought a bunch. Think about what's going on in 2022. The world knows that it's splitting into 2, the East versus the West. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I do not have my money on the West. I do not think that I think that Europe, Canada, and America financially are basket cases, especially for the fact that the rest of the world's out there buying gold up, and they're just sitting there just printing money and doing whatever they want. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I think pride comes before a fall, and I think this is getting very serious. Guys, I buy gold because I am planning for it as an insurance bet, not to make a ton of money, but I wanna preserve my power, wealth, my purchasing power. I'll put a couple of affiliate links down there below. You can use them, you don't have to use them. I've done business with these 3 companies for vaulting and for buying physical. They work well. But guys, go and get the cheapest price. That's the most important thing. If you can find a better price, you go get a better price. The goal is, if you decide to buy gold or silver or platinum or palladium, you want the best price. And that's what I want for you guys. All right, guys, that being said, I thank you so much. The Economic Ninja is out.